Hey everybody, thank you for joining me today. So today's video we're going to do our first foiling video, and I wanted to look at the foil mates. I don't know if a lot of you have experience with these, but I'm going to use my standard Scotch laminator, and I'm going to show you basically really the easy steps for foiling with that. So now that it's heated up, you can kind of see over on the right the green light is lit up. I'm going to go ahead and grab one of the sheets out of the foil mates. And inside the package, it comes with like a transfer sheet. It's just a little piece of parchment paper. And that's what we're going to put our toner sheet and our foil in to go through the laminator. And I will say this, depending on the laminator you have or the machine that you're going to be using, you need to test the heat factor on it. I have this on the 3, I think it's 3M, and then there's also a 5M. And what I have found is when it comes to the foil mates and my particular laminator, I need it really on the 5M. It needs to be as hot as I can get it, and usually I still put it through twice just to make sure it really does cover the whole thing. So I was just showing you there the different foil mates that we're going to use and some of the foil. The gold, which is like really iridescent and fun. We're going to do that, I think, on the stripes. So let me move that out the way. And you can cover the whole sheet in the same color, which is what I'm going to do with um, the gold foil here. I will say this, parts of the foil does stick out. You can trim it down. And if you cut off the longer part on the actual foil mate, then your pieces will be a little bit shorter than the standard card size. Because right now these are measured at 5.5 by 8.5. So if you were to cut it right at 4.25, so it would be 5.5 by 4.25, you got a card front. All you have to do is cut it in half. That's the beauty of the foil mates. You know, they make it so that you can have an interesting background in seconds. Okay, so now we're putting it through, and I always put the folded end through first. I do that when I'm laminating as well. It feels more secure that way. And I'm just running it through a second time. And you can get an inexpensive laminator. You don't have to do the fancy machines like the Minks and whatever else is out there. Um, you probably, if you have an old office and had a laminator, or you could use that. You know what I mean? You just need something that's going to heat up, which will allow the foil to adhere to the toner sheet. You need the heat if you're using toner. All right, so on the next one, I'm going to show you like that little strip I cut off. I'm going to take this little strip of foil and I'm going to run it through, and I'm just going to cut that little end off so it doesn't get caught up. But what this will do is create like literally a little strip that would work perfect in like on the side of a card, or just a little hint of foil. And it got a little stuck in there. It's because there's nothing really in it. But I'm going to go ahead and pull this out and show you. Look at that. A little bit of foil. And it's just enough. Just a little stripe that you could put behind one of your focal images, or on, when you just want a little bit of foil, not a whole lot. Okay. So that one sheet I showed you, that I cut right in half, that would be at the 4.25. I'm just running that through. And on this one, because of the size of the foil sheet, I want to say just a little bit of the edge was hanging off. But I'm the type of person, I always put a border, so I know I would be trimming mine down anyway, so it didn't bother me. But if you have the foil mates, the foil pages, I could tell you the sizes on those. Give me 1 second. Okay. So on like the gold one, it's 6 by 8. So when you cut it in half, it winds up being 4 by 6. So it's long enough, it's just not as wide. So a 1/4 inch is not being foiled if you just cut the foils in half, which you can. But I like to, I would like to have the whole thing covered just on the off chance that you want to have the full front covered, as your back focal image. That if that's the case, then what was I gonna say? The other foils, the thermofoil, the in the rolls would probably work out better because you would be able to cut it and have it fit your piece that you're using. Okay, so we just did the same thing with the swirls, and then this one is oh, they're dots and strings. That's what this one is called. And I'm just gonna do one more time. This one I'm gonna use the gold. I had an extra piece that was in my package. I must have just cut some of the foil to use on a project. I didn't use the whole thing, so I'm just gonna use that to cover this piece. We're gonna go ahead and run that through. And I wanted to show you, if you don't want to cut off that little bit that's on the end, you don't have to. I'm just running it through. And you can see the foil sheet is fine. Nothing's coming off because it has nothing to attach to. So if you have a piece that's hanging off and you're worried about it going through the laminator, it can go through the laminator. It's not going to be a problem. Only because, like I said, as long as there's no toner sheet for the heat for it to attach to, your foil will be fine. And then whatever piece is left, you can trim it and use it on smaller pieces if you want. And I think for me, that's what really using the foil sheets has taken like trial and error and playing with my machine, because I find when I use my mink, I need to use my mink transfer piece. And when I'm using the laminator, it works better with the parchment sheet. So you got to just, play with it, figure it out. You get a lot of impact using these. You get great um, shimmer and color. It's just, they're fun. Foil mates are fun. And you can even still, cut down those and use it just a little bit or cut shapes out of it. There's no limit for what you can do with these. Okay, so this video was just to show you how to actually use the foil with the foil mates. Okay, I'm showing you close-ups of the pieces that we did, and next week's plan is to show you with the toner sheets. Now, the toner sheets to me are super fun. We're going to do the negative pieces, and I'm going to do some die cut shapes out of it to show you how you can um, do the die cut pieces and foil those as well. So stay tuned for that. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. Make sure you hit the like, subscribe, and share button. And please go over to scrapbookingwithme.com. I know we don't have any of the thorough mates on there right now, but just keep an eye out. They have a lot of different sales going on. And at the end, you can use my coupon code TT15 and get an extra 15% off. Thanks, you guys, and have a great day.